Other guys. Today, um, I have a interesting video. It's interesting, but it's also going to be very informative because I'm making it for women. Um, Forgive the moving. I'm making it so that women will be aware. So I met another incel. Met another incel, and this was very subtle. I'm gonna be very, very honest that I don't even think he knows he's an incel. Um, I thought about mentioning it to him, but the last conversation I had with him was very. He's quite passive aggressive. He's very angry. He's very angry. So uh, we had other conversations that confirmed my idea that he is an incel. And so at the end of the day, it's really just not worth it to me to let him know this stuff because I think he wants to be the way that he is, and I'm being very honest. So, but I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start, um, and I'm gonna tell y'all how I know and the conversation and just how it went. So I got back on a dating app. Now it's been a very long time. It's been a very long time. Um, it's been a very long time. But anyway, I did. And so I met the very first time I got back on there, I met well, it was a bunch of people that was hitting me up. But these two particular people I talked to. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and get talk about the second one first, and then I'll go into about the one I really want to talk about. Because the second one, I wouldn't really say he was an incel. I haven't, I mean, I don't, he could be, but not to the extent that the other one is. And, with me having absolute proof to like, yeah, yeah, he is. So, both of these guys happen to turn out to be military. Uh, One of them I knew was military. He was in his had a picture in the uniform, big gun and everything. I thought it was nice. So anyway, um that um and this particular person um very nice, but got a lot of anger issues. Very, 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 very hyper. I later had to kind of call him on, like, wow, you just like all over the place. Now I'm just thinking, dude, just excited or whatever, just to talk to me or whatever. Um, but then he mentioned that he had ADHD, and a few other things from military, you know. Um, and so that explained a lot because he really like couldn't even like completely finish a whole thought idea out. He would hop on to something else, and I love to talk, and I was just really just sitting and listening to him because he was just all over the place, and it seemed like he didn't talk to a lot of people because he was just talking, 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 which is, it's fine. But I noticed it. And so but yeah, at the end of the day, um everything seemed to aggravate him. Everything seemed to bother him. You know, he was quick to his favorite words from what I caught were F off to everybody and everything almost. And just not a people person. Said he, just kind of stayed at home, stayed away from people, whatever. Didn't like people. People get on his nerves. People aggravate him. It keeps him from getting into confrontations and things like that with people. So that's him. So, but the guy I really want to talk about, also military. Now, he was a special kind of military. I, I forgot what he said his actual title was. I forgot. I think I know it, but I don't want to say it wrong. But either way, dude made bombs in the military. Expert bomb making. Uh, just hold that for a minute. So we began a conversation. Now, mind you, mind you, I understand I am a woman of a certain age. Um, but I don't always have the best um I don't want to use the word luck, but whatever. Interactions, I guess, with older men. I really don't. And that's for a lot of reasons. It's not even debatable or they're this or they're that. It's just they behave a certain way. Well, I can tell you. One of the main ways that they behave is they get very possessive really really quick. And that's not something I'm looking for. That's not something I'm looking for. So that's not going to work for me because I'm not looking to be your woman or whatever. Like I'm not, and I let that be known up front. But he was still kind of going on with it, which is like I said, that's one thing that I notice about older men. They're very possessive. They're very they kind of just go on with what they want, and oh, okay, it's like that. So anyway, this guy, man, literally, and I mean literally, straight out of the gate, beginning the conversation, um, he hits me with, um, yeah, a woman killed my baby. And I just kind of froze. Like I was like, wow. I was literally speechless, kind of like I am right now. But I was literally speechless. I didn't say anything, and he continued on. He continued on with the whole story, and I mean, just like literally dumped that on me. And I mean, when I say straight out the gate, this was within the 2 to 3 minutes of the conversation. So I mean, he told me that, and I'm just like, my God, like I'm so sorry. Like that's completely horrible, And he told me the whole story that basically it was a situation of him being um of the woman that he was in this relationship with because he said they didn't get married. Um but that this woman was drinking and driving, had the child in the front seat, no seat belt, no nothing, and it happened. She was okay. Baby didn't make it, and it wasn't a baby. It was a 4-year old, but still. So man, that was crazy, hard, and devastating. Um, then he told me again after he finished that conversation, and we kind of, talked a little bit about that. I mean, he was just like kind of just going on like well, anyway, then he told me that another girl killed a child or his baby or whatever. And again, I'm like, okay. This one, he said, because I'm just like, what? And he was just like, well, it was a baby. And he said she had an abortion when I was in college. And I was like, okay, okay. Didn't really go into that one. But so also within the first few minutes of the conversation, one of the other things that stuck with me, because I'm telling you, dude was just like diarrhea at the mouth. Like he really did not talk to a lot of people, kind of like the other guy, and they were just letting it all out there. And in that case, it is true. From what he told me about himself, which I'll get into that in a minute. But so one of the other like really really big things he said was he had not been in a relationship or with a woman or whatever in 28 years. 28. That was shocking. And we didn't get into, as far as I know, all of the specifics of that because I didn't ask like all those questions at that point because, like I said, dude was just hitting me with a lot of stuff, like right out of the gate that literally had me just like speechless. Um, but he said that that particular woman who who unalived his 4-year old was the last relationship. Um, and he came at me with, oh, I want to go out and I want to do things and I want to be with someone and I'm tired of being by myself and I'm lonely and I just want, and I mean, I get that, we're in a time right now where, I mean, after COVID, I don't really think everything has really come back to normal yet. Um, I guess it's harder for some people. I mean, with me, I get up and I go out. I take myself out. I go where I want to go, and but everybody is not like that. And even I even read in Psychology Today. There's been a number of articles about men just being so lonely, men not you know joining the world, like getting out and doing things. They're just they don't really do that, and even more so now with everything that's been going on the past few years. And one of the other things it said was that it starts with like really young men, like Gen Zers, are just not getting out and socializing and doing things and stuff like that. So he said that. But then he started telling me, yeah, well, I don't do anything all day. I literally stay in my room. I watch TV. I walk my dog, and that's like really what I do. And first thing out of my mouth, I was like, why? And he also went into talking about people and not wanting to be around people and not, just people are shitty, I guess. Just in other words, is what he was saying. I can agree with that somewhat, but not to the degree that he was on. And so that's a red flag to me, though. That's a red flag to me. The 28-year thing is a huge red flag. Um, and you not getting out, not going to work, not talking to people, not having no kind of like that. That's not good. That's not healthy. you know. And I think I did tell him that part that way, like it's not healthy. And I was just like, why? With him being a veteran, I also asked him, I said, well, because the VA offers therapy, counsel, like that's one of the standard things they do for their soldiers. And I asked him about that because, I mean, it's very obvious the dude need therapy. I mean, he very, very angry, very, very. It's like I could tell he was talking about things that was upsetting to him and making him angry, and he was trying to suppress it, and he was trying to like not let me catch hold to it. But it's like y'all already know I'm an empath, so I feel it, and I could literally feel this guy's frustration, like he was trying to hide it and, like I say, suppress it. And he would say something or whatever, and then kind of like maybe try to laugh it off and, try to like kind of keep my interest or whatever. So let me tell y'all what else. So then he some kind of way we started talking about this stuff that's going on with the border and the migrants and all that. It's a whole other thing. But we started talking about that. And this dude went into, okay, let me throw this out too. Mind you, this was like getting kind of late. It was like 11 something at night. And I bring that up because dude was throwing all of this heavy, heavy, very negative energy out. And that's, like, I'll tell y'all what he said, but I was just like, yeah, we're gonna have to kind of stop this conversation because that's some really heavy, heavy, stuff that you're putting out. My camera's trying to freeze. Hopefully it won't stop on me. So, um, but what he said, he started talking about it, and then he started talking about. He said, "Well, they've implemented a new draft, right?" And I was like, "No, I didn't know that." But he was like, "Yeah," and he was like, "But this time it's gonna be women." And that was strange, took me back, and I was, got quiet again. And I said, so they've implemented a new draft, and it's going to be American women, even though we have, a country full of well-bodied, able-bodied men, who a lot of them aren't doing anything, especially in the hood and like all these kind of places. A lot of men are unemployed, and and I'm just like, so, but they're going to choose women, you know, who, in my opinion, most are probably not physically fit enough, certainly nowhere near emotionally able. I mean, there's a whole thing. I'm gonna come back, y'all, but there's a whole thing. I've read two articles now where they're talking about like the Gen Zers into early millennial women literally beginning to have like mental breakdowns because it everything is just too much right now. And I'll probably do a video on that. I want to do a video on that. But yeah, so, and I'm just like, you know, because I'm like, well, that don't make, like, why wouldn't they use the men? Whatever. So then he went into, this is where I'm starting, to see his hate for women, internalized hate for women that he had. So then he started talking about, well, all along the way he was talking about the women that was rejecting him on the dating site, and not even really rejecting him, but more so he said they kept like asking him for stuff and asking him for money and sending him whatever these gift card things stuff is, and that uh he was just, and you could tell he was just angry and talking about, he never used the word modern women, but he kept saying, these women today. And, I was just like, okay, um, but he was talking about like the women with the attitudes and their loud mouth and such, and he's like, yeah, well, they're gonna send them, and and I'm, like I said, I'm just like, well, that don't make any sense that we have all these men, but they would choose to send women. Oh, well, these women want to go, like they're literally signing up, and they're saying that they want to go, and they've been asking for, rights, and they've been asking for all this stuff, and now they're finally gonna get it. And I'm just like, but that would kill, like, or unalive, like, a lot of women and mothers. And I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, and it would leave a whole bunch of men, you know. And he was like, well, no, 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 because and then what was getting me was he was getting, like, really revved up talking about this. He was like, no, 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 that's gonna weed them out. That's gonna weed out all the bad ones, and then, the good ones will be left. And I'm like, so then we're gonna be like Japan and India, whatever, where we have, like, all these, so many, many, many men with a little about amount of women, and those men can't find wives. And it's just, it's shown to be such a horrible mistake. 'Cause we know India and, um I don't know if it was Japan or China. I think it was China, though, had these one child policy things, and for many, many years they were unaliving the girl babies and everything. And so now they're literally in a drought for women, and it's bad. And so I'm just like, so that's kind of like how, oh, it's okay. They're wanting to go. They're wanting to go. No. Then he was saying something about, so he talked about that. Then he was talking about how they're about to nuke us or whatever, and Russia, China, and America is all getting ready to push the button. I'm gonna leave it at that. And I'm just like, dude, I'm like, because he was saying so much, and then he said, which is another thing that's making me feel like dude is lying somewhere. Yeah, yeah. Well, me and my military buddies, this is the things that we talk about. We talk about those kind of things, and I'm ready, and I got such and such, and I don't know what everybody else gonna do, but if you're not prepared, you're not protected, it's just gonna be a lot of, unalivings or whatever. And I'm just like, and I'm saying that because dude was just like, at first telling me he sit up in the house, don't have no friends, don't do nothing, don't go nowhere, unless they're talking online, which is another thing that incels do. They go and find like-minded people to discuss all this crazy stuff with, and hate for women and everything. Um, Dude don't like his mom, which is another incel trait. He was just really, like, basically saying that she ain't there for him, she don't do nothing for him, whatever. He had a horrible accident, not in the military. This was after the military, and nobody came to the hospital. He was having like a 15-hour surgery as a result. Not gonna really get into that, but he was just like, his nobody came. He got, like, other siblings that he say they don't talk, haven't talked in many, many years. His mom lives with him. His sister and her family or whatever lives with him. Um, and talking about they all do their own thing, which was weird to me because I'm just like, well, y'all all adults, y'all kind of should be doing your own thing. Like, I don't know what you're expecting of them or whatever. So anyway, but yeah, just the stuff that he was saying let me know he didn't care much about his sister or his mom. Basically because it was like, well, they don't care nothing about me or whatever. And I'm just like, but your mom lives with you, like they live with you. Yeah, well, they do, but still, we have our own lives, and it's just like, okay. So, um, yeah, dude was just, and then talking about the okay now. Like I said, he was a bomb maker, whatever, in the military. He said, is it the ATF or it's one whatever agency or whatever, I guess, that regulates bombs or whatever in the military or whatever. He was just like, he was saying he was saying that they check in with him every month. He ain't really going to why, but I'll just like, I mean, I can figure out why, you know. But he was just like, yeah, they do check-ins with me every month, to make sure everything's okay. And I'm just like, okay. So then he said, then he was talking about the bomb making and all that kind of stuff and just a bunch of other stuff. And then he said something else that really caught me. He was just like, yeah, they know not to mess with me, or they better not mess with me. And I was just like, man, dude, and you talking about women keep ghosting you and women don't want to go really any further with you. But I'm just like, dude, if you're coming out the gate with every woman like you're doing me, which is more than likely what he's doing, and you're saying all this stuff, and you know, it's all red flag. Like I'm beginning to see now, like why these women are ghosting you and not wanting to deal with you or whatever. And then he said something about his injury. He said that women keep telling him that they don't want to take care of him, and if he when he gets old or whatever, that's going to be too much to deal with. Whatever. He just told me about the accident, so he really hasn't. He really didn't go into like if he has any kind of lasting effects of it, but it seems like he does if these women are telling him that they don't want to take care of him. But like I'm saying, he hasn't said anything to me. I don't know if he got a cane, a walker. I don't know if he can, like, I don't know because, like I say, I only talked to him twice, and it was just really really crazy. I mean, and I was really because I after that I'm just like, yeah, okay. So I kind of start avoiding him because I'm like, you know, after all this time, 28 years, and he was already telling me he kind of liked me and he liked my conversation and oh you're just so open and oh you just yeah you're different and blah blah blah. And I'm just like, yeah dude, like yeah I'm not gonna have you liking me and have you falling for me or something, and stuff don't work out or I'm not really into you like that, because honestly, like I said from jump, I'm really not, because I don't want what he wants. He's really seriously looking for something strong and deep, and I told him from the beginning, like everything I even put on my bio was I'm not trying to be in a relationship. I'm not trying to do that, right now. So but he's still moving toward that direction. I'm just like, I ain't trying to do that. So, but I know he would take it personally, and I'm just like, man, I will not have you blowing up, my whole entire, everywhere I live, the whole 2-3 block radius of the. Yeah, you're not gonna do that to me. I'm like, yeah, no, no. It's scary to even think. He might think I did something to him, or I don't even want to deal with that. But all of these are signs. I'm even ready to cut the video off. All of these are signs of incel. The anger, that internalized anger toward women, toward his mother, even toward the women in his family, still toward that ex. Matter of fact, when I talked to him last night, because that's like the last, after that, I blocked and deleted, and yeah, I'm done. Um, but he was saying about that ex, that woman. He's like, that he hopes she dies. That if she dies, he won't care. It'll be too good for him, for her, and everything. And I mean, he just has, and it's like it's so fresh. That's the other part that gets me. It's like all of his hurt and anger and bitterness and resentfulness and all of that, not only toward that woman, but women it's like it's so fresh, like he just lives with it every day. And that's why I was talking to him about some kind of therapy, and he was just, oh no 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 no, I'm not doing that. I don't want anything from the VA. So apparently he was saying he don't get like nothing from the VA. He gets Social Security, but he don't get like nothing, no kind of benefits, no type of nothing from the VA. He don't want their counseling, he don't want their therapy, it doesn't work. He don't want to deal with it. And I'm just like, mean, you can get it from somewhere, you know. But it's very, very obvious that he does not want it. He doesn't want to. And I personally think a woman is the last thing he needs because he's going to abuse her. He's going to abuse her. And when he finishes abusing her, he's going to literally blame her for it because he already has this internalized hate toward women already. That I honestly don't even think he sees it. I really don't. Everything this guy was blaming on women, everything. And and it didn't even hit me that first day. It just disturbed me, some of the stuff that he was saying about people dying. And like he also seems like he's very, very into like this conspiracy stuff, you know. And he kept, the other thing he kept doing is he kept, and he even did it last night, trying to put stuff on me and tell me stuff that this is how it is and this is what's going to happen and this is, you need to just get used to it and you need to just, accept it because this is what it is and this is how this is going to happen and you need to just, deal with it. And I'm just like, no, no, it is not. It's not. Well, I'm telling you the truth and this is how this is going to. I'm just like, but I literally had to raise my voice because here's the thing. I'm not going, I know enough about life and about my destiny and how to design my own life and how I know I create my own reality that I'm not going to let you put that on me. Like, literally, I'm not. And so he was just so pushy with that. And I'm just like, no, no. I create my own reality. Like that stuff you talking about, I don't know, maybe it's gonna happen to some folks, or maybe like that's not gonna happen to me. That's not my fate, that's not my reality. So many times, here's a tip. A lot of things happen to us and happen in our lives and things like that because we accept stuff that people try to put on us. And I am just not gonna do that. I mean, there was a time in my life before I knew better that I did. Yeah, I did. And I would have tried to correct him. I'd have tried to be there for him. I'd have tried to understand him. But now that I know what I know, now that I know how to recognize, I've read books about incels, I've read articles about incels. I know what they are, what they look like. I know how they operate, and I know I can't help them. I cannot help them. And another thing that has really helped me, and I think it's good that I met a person like this, another person like this, because I met one before. Um, I think I did a video about that one too. But is that I have been listening. I tell you all the time how I be listening to these different podcasts and lives and things like that. And I listen to a lot of women. I listen to a lot of these young women, all the way up to my age and older. And it's really helped me with recognizing things that I would have let fly under the radar and under the table because they call out a lot of stuff and they notice a lot of stuff and it's helped me. That's how I recognize. Well, that's not really how I recognize that he was an incel. I kind of did that on my own, but the part about me not trying to rescue him, the part about me not trying to be there for him and help him and feeling bad because oh nobody wants to talk to him and nobody, you know, um wants to give him a chance. I would have been in my past. I would have been that one to talk to him on the phone and just spend time with him, and even though I didn't even like him, but it's because I would feel bad for him, and that's what I did, and that's literally how I got myself caught up in bad situations, trying to help, trying to be good, and trying to fix and yeah, no. At this point, and learning and knowing about incels and how much they really, truly, for real, do hate women, and the fact that he was so eager and got like so excited telling me about all the women that were going to be unalived in whatever draft this is he's talking about, and how these women deserve it, and they run their mouth too much and they need to be weeded out and all. And I'm just like, dude, like that don't even make no sense. Like what you're saying, that this is crazy to me. But anyway, women, be careful. Look for men that you can tell that anger deep within them. A lot of them, they'll try to hide it and laugh it off, or you know, he has a very slick little mouth also. But because I recognize it, because I know it, and because I just was not going to fall for and agree with the things he was trying to get me to agree to, my mouth got slick too. And I don't usually come at people like that. Like I really don't. But like dude was literally, I felt like trying to wrestle me to the ground with some of the stuff that he was saying, and literally put fear in me. And I'm just like, yeah, no. But the first night though, I was a little afraid with the stuff that he was saying. I had to think about that stuff. And I'm like, man, hold on, dude up here predicting the future. Like you don't know that this stuff is gonna happen. You don't, yeah, no. That's why I say I think he got a lot of conspiracy stuff within him. And despite the fact needing some psychological evaluation, like for real, he really, he needs help. He really does. But he does present himself as a decent guy, like a decent guy. But all this women keep rejecting me, and I don't understand it, and I don't understand women. It's just like, dude, you scary as hell. Like you are really, like you are a threat. All of you are a threat. Everything that come out your mouth, everything that you're thinking, the fact that you have the ability, the expert ability to make bombs and stuff, and that these people are checking in on you every month to make sure that you cool or what. Yeah, no, that's you're scary as shit, and this is why women are avoiding you. But he's blaming the women. And it's a lot of that out there, ladies. If there's a man you're meeting who is not going anywhere, who's not socializing with people, who don't talk to people, who don't have some semblance of some type of firm, good foundational, what would you call it? People around him. Um, that's not good. That self isolation, the negativity, I mean, it's not good. It is not good. And you can't help them. You can't fix them. It ain't no amount of whatever that you can say that's going to change who they are, what they feel, how they believe, and all. They need professional help. And that's not a slight, that's not a bad thing, that's not none of that. But we still have so many men who are down on therapy. And this man could get therapy. This man could get free therapy. He's a veteran. He could get free therapy just to, if nothing else, just to talk to people. And he's refusing. He doesn't want it. He's just in an anger bubble, and it's just like, yeah, I'm not gonna put myself out here after all of the healing and self love and all of this stuff that I have acquired and that I have done, and it's taken me all these years. Ain't no way in hell I'm finna get involved with someone who's gonna just try to crack that. That dude would literally break me, and I already know he would literally. I'm not gonna say he would break me because I've been through some stuff and I ain't been broke yet, but he would definitely try. And I just don't want to go through it. Like I don't even want to deal with that no more. Like I'm not on that no more. I don't want to fix you. I don't want to heal you. I don't really care at this point the depth of your problems and issues and mental illnesses, and like I don't want to deal with that. Like I really don't. May sound cruel, may sound whatever, but I've done that, and I've had to recover myself, and it ain't good, and it's not fun, and it's a process. And why would I put myself in that again? Men need to stop asking women to be their peace. Men need to stop asking women to heal them. Men need to stop expecting women to come fully loaded, full package, and then let us dump out. Nah, nah. We know too much now. And like I say, I'm grateful for other women, and especially these Gen Z women who ain't putting up with none of it. Like sometimes, sometimes I be listening to these podcasts and I be listening to these women and I hear how they handle these men and everything, and I be saying to myself, like, God dang, girl, like, ooh, whoa, like, real, you said. I'm just like, man, even I be thinking it's kind of rude. But when you look at the overall picture of how these dudes are and how they, and it's just like even with this one, I'm just like, at this point, dealing with him and almost getting into like passive aggressive arguments with this dude in 2 days for him to pull that out of me, because I don't do that. I don't behave like that. It's just certain things that I'm not gonna let you get away with, though. But for him to even touch that part of me that quick says a lot. And, you know, like I say, my mindset right now is the fact that, you can get help if you want it. You don't have to stay isolated like that. I even was asking him last night, like, why don't you got, because you just told me you want to go out. You want to go do things. You want to go. But then you're saying, because he told me yesterday that he was going to go take a drive. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's nice. And so when we talked about it later, I was like, oh, he said something about his dog. And I'm like, oh, did you take your dog for a. No, no, no. I don't take my dog on drives because, if anything ever happens to her, that'll be it. I won't have nothing else. I won't have nobody else. And I'm like, because most dogs like drives and rides and. And I said, well, because I'm telling y'all, I still didn't fully have the full understanding. And so I asked him, I said, well, what about like your mom and your sister and their, I'm like, you have them. I don't have them. They're not there for me. I don't count them. They're not, they're doing their own thing. Okay. So, but ultimately, at the end of that, he said, no, he didn't go anywhere. He didn't take a drive. He didn't like, no, he didn't. He stayed, he just took his dog on a walk. And I'm just like, dude, you're choosing not to get up, not to go out, not to be so. And you're literally what you're doing is you're putting a woman in that position to, if I get a woman, then I'll go out with her. Then I would. But you're already telling me you got issues with money and you feel like women just want your money or whatever. Then he tells me last night about I'm on a really fixed social security income. And here's the thing, I don't even know why he kept talking to me about financial stuff, because I don't ask men for nothing, never have. And that's not, I already told him that, like, that's not something I do. I don't want anything from you. I'm good. That's not even what I'm looking for in a relationship. Doesn't even call for you to have, for me to, for you to need to have money for me. Like, I'm not even trying to go there with you like that anyway, off top. But he kept bringing that up, and it showed how much anger he had toward women asking him for stuff. And I'm on a really fixed social security um limit, or the amount of money I get every month. And I pay my bills and I pay my rent and I da 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 da, and it's hardly anything left over to go out or do anything. And I'm thinking, so why are you telling me that you're looking for some, you want to go out, you want to go do things, and probably asking other women out, but then you don't really have it? Like, is that why you're mad, because they're asking you for stuff? Or like, because you're making it sound like they all are just out here just looking for money, hand out, hand out, hand out. Then he gonna sit there and tell me last night, talking about, well, yeah, I'm meeting these kind of women, and same place I met you at, same place I met, and I'm just like, okay, what they got to do with me? Like, he kept throwing, and it was pissing me off, because he kept like throwing these little innuendos out there, like, oh, well, they're women too. They're women like you. And because he said that one time, and I'm like, dude, no, let me stop you. Because he just kept on talking. I'm like, no, let me stop you right there. No, they're not like me at all. Like, don't compare me to these whatever. That sounds like some old crackhead shit to me. Some old crackhead fentanyl, meth. They trying to hit you up for gift cards and money and asking. I don't need your money. I don't. I'm not. I don't ask men for nothing. You know what I'm saying? So don't put me in that category. And talking about, oh, well, I met them on the same place I met you. Okay, well, that ain't still ain't got nothing to do with me. What they got to do with me? It's and then what I told him, I was trying to be nice, but I'm telling him like it sounded to me like I didn't say this, but I'm just like sound to me like it's the kind of women that you're meeting. Because I asked him like, where do you go? Like like, and he was literally like he only meets them on one certain app, and I'm just like, so I told him last night, I said, well, why don't you try other apps? I say, why don't you? There's like so many others. I'm like, or why don't you, if you're not meeting quality women that you feel like you should be meeting, why don't you go on a paid app? Like get one that there ain't no way in the world I'm gonna pay for. I'm not gonna pay to meet a woman. Why would I do that? I'm not gonna spend my money on. And that was kind of where the conversation led to us getting off the phone because he would got really pissed off with me saying that. And I'm just like I'm literally just sitting here listening to this dude while he rant on why he not gonna pay to meet a woman. And I'm just like, because I'm saying, seem to me if one thing ain't working, you maybe need to go to something else because you're doing the same thing over and over and over, keep getting the same results or whatever. And then I also found out half of that 28 years of him not dating or not finding a woman, whatever. Because I asked him about that last night. Like I really pressed that issue, and what I ultimately found out is that he was just angry. He was just mad. He was like, I didn't want to date nobody. I didn't want to go through that with women, and I didn't want to deal with that. And it's just like, so it seems to me you met this woman, all that stuff happened, whatever. Um, and it seemed like to me for many years you just stayed to yourself, didn't want to date, didn't want like that was your choice. And now that you're lonely or feel like you want to now you're out here meeting women who are quite different than they were 28 years ago. And if it even has been that long since you hadn't dated, because I don't know if I believe that. But now you're mad because oh they keep asking me for money and they keep doing this and they're not serious and they're not really trying to and it's like you dumping all of this on me and it's just like dude you are a damn walking red flag. You are the whole entire flag. And it's crazy and scary and all of that with what he knows and his knowledge and it just yeah. So that was my meeting with, with another incel. um I'm saying this and describing this and hope I wasn't jumping around too much, that you will understand what an incel is, how they operate, how you not gonna change them, you not gonna fix them. They are convinced that they're not gonna. That's what he kept saying last night. Oh, I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. I've already settled in my mind that I'm probably not going to ever meet anyone, and that's okay. I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good about it, Um, but I just don't even worry about it anymore. And I'm just listening to this guy. So ladies, listen for that internalized hate for women. Listen to the anger, the passive aggressiveness, the little sarcasm or whatever, that he kept trying to do that I was catching hold to. I was catching hold to it. And, the fact of when people take you out of your personality. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that he took me out of my personality. But I think what it is that I've finally come to a point in my life, or I am at a point in my life to where I'm just not going to let stuff slide. Like, you're not going to just, because my daughter's father used to do that. Just throw out little undercover, slick slide little stuff and just keep on talking like you ain't going to catch it or you ain't going to say nothing. No, stop, slow your roll, let's go back. No. Okay, when you said such and such, yeah, no. Yeah, no. I'm not gonna just let that slide. And so, yeah, at the end of the day, we yeah, I blocked and deleted because for what? For what? You know. But I hope I wasn't all over the place, y'all. I wanted to tell y'all about that. Hope you got something out of it. Hope you can see the markers and red flags that, I pointed out. Got any questions? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit all notifications so that you know when I upload new videos. Yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And until the next video, see you next time.